Beverly Hills.
I'm going to be talking a little bit in code today because if you watch my channel and you watch my live, yes.
Is the plane going down? Are we gonna die? Why are you saying I'm sorry?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lindsay, the housewife historian, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Real Housewives of New Jersey and Kyle Richards. Also because she's making headlines again with Morgan Wade, country music star. We're going to chat a little bit about the Real Housewives of New Jersey and their so-called filming schedule, who was seen out and about last night filming with the Real Housewives of New Jersey. But before we get into it, guys, make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. It's super important because it makes a big difference in my videos, like getting out in circulation. So it's a great free way and an easy way to support my channel. Other than that, everything in this video is, of course, alleged. Go over to my comments real quick, guys. This is a live, so I'm going to comment back and forth. Hi, Monica. How are you? Good morning. I'm glad you guys could hop on this morning with me. Have you guys been watching the headlines as it pertains to Real Housewives of New Jersey or Kyle Richards? She's making headlines. We can start with Jersey or Beverly Hills, whichever you guys prefer. New Jersey's been spotted out and about as well, and it was a couples night, like couples, like, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend, Dolores and Polly and Teresa and Louis out and about having dinner at a very busy restaurant. Yes, for sure. Filming for Real Housewives of New Jersey has begun. Hi, Yo-Yo, how are you? So we'll get into that. Also, some chatter about a new girl, several new girls actually, with a total cast of like 11 people. So we'll talk about that. Again, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I was the first to come out on Wednesday. Maybe not the first, but on Wednesday I posted a video. I came live and let you guys know that the Real Housewives of New Jersey had started filming. Some people didn't believe me, and I'm like, no, I swear. But now we've gotten confirmation because we've seen production out and about with Melissa Gorga, and then again last night. I can't get my Twitter to get pulled up. Do we call it Twitter anymore? We call it X. Kyle and Morgan look like they are really physically attracted to each other. This isn't just for a video, LOL. Okay, let's start Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So first of all, this comment, if you guys saw the video of, if you saw the video of Kyle and Morgan in Morgan Wade's upcoming, well, she's released the song. It's a music video. There's a couple of things I want to let you guys know, but I wanted to know if you guys seen it, because fact remains, Kyle says she doesn't want us to talk about her, but then she does a video that is very, what is the word? Like, it's very sexual. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. It's very opposite of what Kyle has been telling us, if that makes sense. They are very, it does seem like they're very attracted to one another. They did a short interview before this video aired, and a lot of people are referencing that because Kyle and Morgan sort of give the insinuation that they're giving us something to talk about. Kyle's says something along the lines like, well, if they're going to talk, we're going to give them something to talk about. And Morgan's like, let's troll the trolls, honey. So it's like, you can't really ask us not to speak about it and then put out content. I mean, you can, but it does. I don't know if that's like a really great look to put out content like that and come to your audience and ask them not to run that narrative, because it's kind of like contradicting, right? So on Watch What Happens Live, if you guys don't know, Jeff Lewis was on with Heather McDonald, and while talking with Andy Cohen, Jeff Lewis asked Kyle about Kyle Richards to Jeff Lewis, who Kyle and Jeff, I think, have been friends. I don't know if they're really friends because they enjoy each other, but they're just both in the industry probably, and they like to keep each other on each other's teams. Like, whatever. Anyway, he said that he was mad that she didn't tell him she was a lesbian on Ozempic. So some people were like, it's just a joke, and other people were like, he needs to apologize. The next morning, TMZ caught him out and about, and they said, do you want to apologize for anything that you said on Watch What Happens Live? And you could see in his face, like, he knew what they were talking about. And he said that he had texted Kyle at 6:30 in the morning, and he hadn't heard anything back yet. Kyle goes on. So for everyone's like, it's not a big deal because I posted on TikTok about it. So then Kyle is on Amazon Watch What Happens Live. Shout out to the content creators that, are able to watch and save that content and reshare it for us. But she was not laughing about it. She was kind of pissy, I felt like, when she was asked about it. And she said she wasn't going to text him back because she didn't feel like being the blunt of any jokes. And then, like, I don't know, 2 hours later, this video drops. So I made a video that was like, Jeff Lewis, take your apology back. I mean, I'm just saying, take that shit back, because she just dropped this video with Morgan Wade. And it's like, you cannot watch that. And even if you didn't, hypothetically, say you didn't hear any rumors about Morgan and Kyle, right? If you saw this video with Kyle and Morgan, it would have sparked rumors just from the risque sexual content of the video. We don't see Kyle in this sexual manner. She's not a sexual person, right? We know that, like, Camille Grammer, she's a little bit more sexual. She was like kissing men on the lips and shit. If you guys go back to the first couple of seasons, and she was very flirtatious, a pretty blonde, with her skinny body and big tatas, and she would, bounce around on the tennis court or what have you. But Kyle isn't a sexual person. She's uncomfortable talking about sex. You guys can see that in years and years and years of watching Kyle. And so it's very different in a way that we don't normally see Kyle. And here's a couple of things we have to factor in. One is, allegedly Kyle has started a production company, or she's had a production company and she's just now starting it. Jacob, thank you so much. She says Camille, Brandy, Denise. Yes, Kyle is a prude. So great example. Camille, Brandy was very sexual. Denise was very sexual, and they got very uncomfortable with that. And I think that's why they hammered Denise with a lot of questions, and they tried to make it seem like they were naive. And even Denise was like, come on, like, I know you guys aren't that naive, but I don't know about Kyle. I don't know. I kind of feel like this song almost sounds like Morgan wrote it about Kyle. Hi, Groovy. I'm so glad that you got to make it. We're talking about Morgan Wade and Kyle Richards and the music video that just posted yesterday, Morgan Wade's new country music song. Now, the things that we have to factor in is that allegedly this production company of Kyle's is producing the music video. So it's like Kyle is sort of using herself to bring attention to Morgan and her career, right? And now allegedly also this production company is going to be producing a documentary on Morgan Wade as well. And I'm going to tell you what it's going to be about. It's going to be about addiction, because Morgan's 3 years sober. You're going to start seeing stuff popping up, documentaries about addiction. Bunny, I cannot remember her last name. If I can get logged in, I'll pull it up. Bunny is a young woman. She's like in her 30s. She had a hard life as like a kid. Her mom was a hoarder. She really didn't have a chance in hell, but somehow she made it out, and she married someone who had a lot of money. She started a company, I think. She was the one that was going to sign with Bethany's production company. She's the one that came out and got with a cease and desist from Bethany because she was speaking out on this bullshit contract that Bethany had given the team that was going to film. And it was the same sort of contract that Bethany is complaining about that Bravo gives the ladies. She had to give like 20%. Don't quote me on the numbers, and everything in this video is alleged or for educational purposes only. She had to give like 20% of everything that she was making, even if it was like TikToks in her closet. But here was the thing. the whole show was on hold because of COVID. So they kept like thinking they were going to film contracts and then something would happen and they would get shut down, right? So even though they weren't working, that production company still wanted the 20% from her on anything that she was doing, regardless that they weren't filming. They didn't even know if they were going to for sure even move forward with the show because it had been on hold for so long from Brown. There's just a lot of different factors and bumps in the road that eventually, again, the show didn't make it. It didn't make it to the air. So Bunny came out and she talked about how she was so surprised. This was way before the whole strike. This was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. She came out and just spoke up about Bethany because she felt like, for what Bethany is alluding to viewers and fans, what she stands for and her moral compass and yada, yada, yada. And Bunny's over here like, no, she had a production team. She was in charge of these contracts. Like, she wanted money. We hadn't even filmed. We didn't even have a show. And she wanted to take 20% of my TikToks I was making in my closet. Like, it's crazy. So she put Bethany on blast for educational purposes only. And allegedly, she got a cease and desist over it. So I think that we have seen Bethany address this just a tiny bit in the comments on an account called Bravo_Boo. I'm hoping to have her on Tuesday, so I will keep you guys posted about that, because I've been, we've corresponded for years and our schedules just don't work out. We're always on different time zones, and she's really lovely. I think that you guys would really enjoy hearing her perspective on things. So Groovy says, I think that's not fair from Bravo that they take a percentage of their businesses. Maybe some of these women didn't have the money to start up their own businesses. I agree. I mean, I think that it just depends, right? So like, if they're advertising their shit on the show, like say the tequila, just let's use Beverly Hills as an example, Kathy Hilton, the tequila tasting. If you're bringing your product into the show and you're centering episodes around it, or then I think it's okay for them to take some sort of a percentage for the advertisement. Like, that would be fair. Not, of course, everything. But I think that it's just hard to really gauge, because Bethany already had started her company when she got on the Real Housewives of New York. Or what you see happening is the women will start a company right before they get on the show. Thank you, Groovy. You're so fake. Like, this is what I love about you guys. We all keep an open perspective to people's opinions, knowing that someone may be, have a great point that we don't realize. So I really love that. I've always said about my channel that, it's for everyone. We can't all have the same queens and love the same people, but everyone has an opinion. And as long as they relay it respectfully, then that's what makes it great. Bravo community. Anyways, back to Bethany. Allegedly, Bunny outed Bethany for all of this craziness. And if you guys remember, again, I think the ladies will sometimes start up a business before they get on the show so that they are like a business owner. You might see this out of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And if you do, you heard it here first, because you guys know that there's some rumors of some new women, new faces that we might be seeing on the Real Housewives of New Jersey this year. But of course, the way Jersey does things is like backwards. They like bring in new people out of nowhere, and they don't tell them if they're actually going to be housewives or not. And they usually let them film the entire season before they let them know. Somebody posted a video of Jen Fessler and Jen Aiden, and they were like, what? Like, I see this friendship sparking. They're going to like each other. And maybe Jen Fessler will turn on Margaret, which I could probably see that. Could you guys see that? Anyways, if you want to know more about Bunny and the Bethany, you can check out Bravo_Boo on Instagram, because she posted a whole series on it. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Hi, Joe. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. That's totally fine. We can start on Real Housewives of New Jersey. I told you guys on Wednesday I came on and did a live that the Real Housewives of New Jersey had officially started filming. Some people didn't really know if they should believe it or not. Then on Thursday we got more confirmation that they were filming. We had a film crew. We had a photo of a film crew filming Melissa outside of Envy. And then yesterday we got some more clips or photos of two Real Housewives of New Jersey OGs out to dinner with their men. And of course, Dolores and Polly were one of them, and Teresa and Louis were the other couple. So I think that it says a lot to the status of the ladies when you start filming. Like, Bravo, in my opinion, I feel like they always start with Teresa when they start filming. Maybe we don't realize that because it's sort of behind the scenes, but it seems like when they start filming, they start with Teresa. They go in her house. They film, like when she had the new house, they went in way before the season started. Well, not way before, but like a month before. And they took their time filming her whole house, filming all of the rooms, like several hours. And so they really spend a lot of time with Teresa. What do you think about New Jersey cast? I believe one of the new is Jen. So I don't know, Yo-Yo. I've heard that there's 11 castmates this year, possibly. Again, Bravo does it so backwards. They like bring these women in sporadically, and sometimes a couple of a month or so into filming, or it just depends on how long the season is going to be. I'm a little more concerned about how long are they going to film. Someone said like this actually isn't a good thing because likely they'll only film August, September, October, maybe November. So we're really not going to be getting the holidays or the new year unless if they take a break from filming. Like, I think that Beverly Hills would take a break from like, I want to say Thanksgiving to Christmas, but I don't think that's true. They take an extensive amount of time off, though, from filming around the holidays. Do you think that Margaret will turn against Melissa this season? I do not think Margaret will turn against Melissa this season. I do not think that. Do you think that? If so, why? Tell me more. Not that I wouldn't love that. Let's talk a little bit more about Yo-Yo's question too. Have you guys heard anything about the new castmates? There was one girl, I think it was Martinis by Eddie, that posted her information and said she could possibly be a friend of or a new housewife. Her name is, I want to say it's Tiffany. Maybe is her name Jen? Is that who you're talking about, Yo-Yo? And I'm just not realizing it. I went onto her Instagram page. She's very beautiful. She's from New Jersey. I think she was filming like a confessional, though. It almost looked like from her Instagram. I want to give you guys the name so that you guys can find it yourselves and go check it out. But her photo definitely looked like something that you would see on a confessional. So not sure what might be going on there. And also we're hearing that Rachel's filming. We're hearing that Danielle is filming. Also, Caroline, this is something you guys may not have heard either. Did you guys know that Caroline was on Jeff Lewis Live? I'm not sure where she was at, but I think she kind of made him mad because they were supposed to go on live and they queued everything up and they were ready to go. And apparently Andy Cohen walked down the hallway, but of course Jeff Lewis didn't know that because they were, I don't know if it was like online, but she just basically got up and went and hugged Andy Cohen because he was walking down the hallway allegedly. Like she just got up on live air when they were supposed to be starting and went and hugged Andy Cohen because she felt like that's what she needed to do. So I think he was a little mad about that. But guess what? They talked about Danielle Cabral, and guess what Caroline said? Caroline said that Andy Cohen called and asked her about Danielle. So Caroline said Andy Cohen called and asked her about Danielle before they brought her on as a housewife because Danielle's mom or dad? Mom married Caroline's brother. So let me say that again. Caroline's brother is married to Danielle's aunt, not mom. I'm sorry, aunt. Yep. I think that her brother, Caroline's brother, had been married once before. They had children, got divorced, and then he married Danielle's aunt. Um, and I don't know. I feel like she was kind of, she said basically that she put in a good word for her, and that when Danielle started on the show, instead of thanking them, she went and unfollowed all of them. Like she unfollowed all of the Manzos and Caroline's daughter, which again, Caroline said she was a little bit disappointed because of the fact that allegedly Danielle had actually called and talked to Lauren about the show before right when she got on the show, when she first, found out she was going to be on, or right around that time. She called Lauren, talked to her, basically just asking for advice somewhat, and then she unfollowed all of them on Instagram. So Caroline didn't seem very happy about that. She wants her thank you. If Danielle's listening, Caroline Manzo wants her freaking thank you, Danielle. She wants to know where her thank you note's at. Yes, you have it right about Danielle and Caroline's connection. Okay, perfect. I'm glad. Yes, it's Tiffany. Okay, so Tiffany just started a business as well, like a month ago. Well, she didn't start it, she actually bought a business. So moving on to Real Housewives of New Jersey rumors, we don't know for sure, but there is a woman named Tiffany whose picture and Instagram profile was shared, I think, by Martinis and Eddie on Instagram or Twitter. And it was rumored to be that this girl could be new to the cast of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So, of course, you guys know that I had to look her up, find out what information I could, and it turns out she's a mom. She's very beautiful, Sports Illustrated model, has several children, and she allegedly worked for a gentleman who was in medical sales, and it sounds like she worked for him the majority of her life. Started out maybe as like a private assistant, right hand kind of gal, all through her career, because she mentions that she was also, I think, a cheerleader, and I want to say for Dallas, but I could be completely wrong, and I for some reason can't log on to my internet to confirm that with you guys. I hate when I can't do that. For some reason, I'm having one of those days. That's why my interview with Dr. Andrew hasn't posted. I've been uploading it, and I usually never have a hard time. I should have filmed it live, but I didn't because we chatted for so long. It just takes like YouTube forever. It's so disappointing. So sorry, guys, I can't look it up for you, but her name is Tiffany. You can find the information online fairly easy. Sports Illustrated model, beautiful children, dark hair, and I think that she might be really interesting. Anyways, it looks like she bought out the gentleman that she's been working for her whole life. And the business is like a medical sales type of business, which we all know there's a lot of money in pharmaceutical sales. That was the big thing when I graduated high school. Like 5 years prior to that, pharmaceutical sales was like a six-figure job when I graduated high school, like a while ago in the 2000s, like before 2010. So pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, those things are very, very usually very lucrative, right? For example, Real Housewives of Orange County, if you remember Dr. Jennifer, there were rumors about her equipment and the vendors and people she had rented it from and her not paying her bill. And so like if you have someone that does work like that in high-end machinery, they need it, they don't want to buy it because they're newly established, don't have the money, whatever the case may be, they rent it. So if you can imagine, it would be like basically a rental car business except for medical or hospital, whatever the case may be. So I'm sure that she's probably going to be making a pretty penny, but again, it just reiterates my point that when the Real Housewives you come on, if they're business savvy, they're going to have a business started before they get on the show. Because I don't know the difference between if you don't talk about your business on the show and you do, if there's a different percentage. I'm assuming that there is. I noticed with Whitney Rose from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, we had heard a lot about her skincare line for several years. We had saw the rebranding, yada, yada, yada. And now we don't hear anything about it. I'm so confused in the beginning of the OC. These two gens look like each other. Oh, that's a great point. groovy. I feel like the OC look is like big hoo-has and real slender and blonde hair. Like Tamara, Jen, Jen the doctor, Jen the new girl. The only person that kind of stays, I think, a little bit more into what is stylish or what looks good on her is Kelly Dodd. Kelly Dodd does a good job of, I don't know if it's self-awareness, like of her, like she'll say things like, you know, she shouldn't have been wearing that. She has grandchildren. Like, but these ladies, it's whatever makes you happy, right? It is really whatever makes you happy. But I think at the same time, it's nice to be it's okay to be different too. But if you want to have blonde hair and big ha-has because that's what's in style and you like it, then that's on you. But a lot of times I think that the OC was kind of known for women like that because they always dated really rich men. And they would say, like in the OC, like if you're like 30, you're too old for any of the poppies or the sugar daddies, whatever you want to call them. Like you have to be under 30 and really skinny and blonde and have big, I don't know if that's still true. That's what they say it used to be like. I want to also throw in one last thing for you guys. And that is that people are talking about that rumor about Lexi. Marge's Lexi and how she's like living at the house and like rumors about allegedly her and Margaret's husband. I don't know if I believe that. Do you guys believe that? I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll get to see this year. Maybe they'll film a little bit more. I like Lexi. I think she seems like a really nice gal, and she probably is very loyal to Margaret. And she is a great worker and all of those wonderful things. But it doesn't seem like people really took an interest to Lexi, as in they wanted to see more of her, because she definitely has had some screen time. She's been introduced. She's went on girls' trips, and it just never really picked up. She's living at Margaret's home with her son and they're helping, which is like so nice. I'm sure she appreciates that. I mean, anyone that is a mom, let alone a single mom, like imagine going from 2 hands to 6 hands, right? Big difference. I just want to see the dynamic. I'm interested in the dynamic because I'm like, well, what if Margaret doesn't really care? Like maybe she's like, yeah, whatever. She's taking care of him. I don't have to. Oh, I thought that something is fishy only because it takes a lot of tolerance being around Margaret. Yo-Yo said, what? I thought he was all into Dolores. Joe B, Margaret's husband? He is probably into her. But Lexi's there now, so Lexi's there now, so no worries. Everything's good. But they were together last season when the Marge would call Joe from Ireland. That's right, Yo-Yo. Thank you. I think that's where some of the rumors had started, was because people were like, why the F are they together like that all the time when Margaret's calling? But she is living there, but still, I don't know. That's like such a sticky situation because that happens a lot. More than we realize, there are men and women who are married and a woman lets a friend in and helps them out too much or moves them in or whatever the case may be. And then something happens. Or Shania Twain is a great example of her and her husband were married and she had a best friend and that best friend had a husband. And so they would hang out together all the time. And they was the bestest of friends until her best friend, yes, who was married to the husband, to Shania Twain's husband's best friend. So the best friend of Shania started sleeping with Shania's husband. Yes. So they're married. Shania and her husband were married. They had a best friend couple, like a husband and a wife that they hung out with all the time, right? They're bestest of friends. But Shania and this woman were friends first. They were dear, dear friends. And Shania Twain's best friend started sleeping with her husband. And they got married. And then Shania wrote this whole book about healing and all this stuff. And then she ended up marrying her ex-best friend's ex-husband. They literally swapped partners. It was like 10 years later, but still, what is the chances of that? So that stuff happens more than anyone realizes. Even if they have their own man, it doesn't matter. Also, let's not forget Monique. Let's talk about Monique Samuels from the Real Housewives of Potomac. She had a best friend. Her best friend name was Gigi. She moved Gigi into their mansion, and then lo and behold, Gigi's calling Page Six and telling them all their business. Gigi's done told her husband all kinds of shit, told Page Six all kinds of stuff, selling stories. I mean, allegedly tried to hit on Chris Samuels. We don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, this stuff happens. So if you move someone into your home and you have a husband there, even if they're your bestest, dearest friend, don't stay there for very long. It's just a sticky situation. You know, people are going through emotional things and they find support in places or people that are of convenience, even though they don't realize it. You know, like, if she is, hypothetically, if Lexi is, hypothetically, it's out of, like, just convenience or sure circumstance, because she certainly wouldn't seek out a man like him in public, probably, has she not lived there and maybe see, like, that he's, like, a good person. Or it could be, in my mind, it's probably Joe B waiting on Margaret hand and foot, and then him complaining, or not crying, but whining about it to Lexi, and Lexi's comforting him while talking about whatever she's got going on. I don't know. That would just be my assumption. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. So to wrap up this live, we talked Real Housewives of New Jersey. We talked about the possibility of there being 11 Real Housewives of New Jersey housewives. We discussed Tiffany, who is an up-and-coming possible housewives for the Real Housewives of New Jersey. We know Rachel's filming, Danielle's filming, Melissa is filming, Teresa, the whole gang. Talked about Bethany and NBC and the fact that Bethany and her production company were giving out the same exact contracts as Bravo, if not worse, because they were expecting the cast to provide percentages before they even had a show. Caroline Manzo on the Jeff Lewis show, basically talking bad about Danielle Cabral. Danielle Cabral also commented on Bethany's live when she was talking about the NBC and everything that was going on. So she said, thank you for, you know, your hard work and for all the people that climbed, you know, fingernails and toenails and whatever to get here. So I was like, anyways, I think Jennifer may or may not be in Europe or be coming home from Europe. I know that she was on a really nice vacation, it looks like, with Bill. So that's really nice. I think it's nice to take a vacation, then come home, pick up on filming. She'll feel rejuvenated. Again, we discussed the fact that what if Jen Fessler and Jen Aiden become the bestest of friends and Jen Fessler turns on Margaret? It would be about time, because here's the thing, guys. We found out through Ziggy on All About the Truth podcast that Jen Fessler was never friends with Margaret until, like, the show. Miami, yes, Groovy, Miami. I cannot wait for the Real Housewives of Miami to come out. I don't know if you guys know this, but Gertie, I feel so bad, guys. She has breast cancer, and she is documenting her journey online, and it's hard. It's hard. I feel very bad for her. I'm praying for her and praying for her family, and I commend her for going online and sharing so much, because it's that stuff's not easy, guys. Not at all. Somewhere on SM, I read that Mel was the only one not liking Dolores's post about, I believe, her charity event for the Real Housewives of New Jersey. That's interesting. Storyline for season 14? Probably, because I feel like Melissa Dolores knows that Melissa is not going to come too hard at her because they all know each other's deepest, darkest secrets. Because Dolores has been around just as long as Melissa, just as long as Joe and Teresa. Okay, so everything. She knows where all the dead bodies are buried. Melissa, if she genuinely was going to fight with someone, if it was a genuine fight, it would be with Margaret, again, over everything that transpired last season, over Margaret opening up her mouth, telling her best friend, Laura Lee Jensen, about this thing that happened in the car with the other guy. Like, I can't think that Melissa is over that. She might be, though, because they're taking out all their anger on Teresa, in my opinion, over that situation. And also, I think that Dolores will know what it is. Though, like, there was a podcast that Melissa did, and Melissa said in the podcast that they talk about us, cut next scene, we talk about them, cut next scene, we talk about them, and they talk about us. Like, it was an understanding, right? So I think that Dolores will see it for what it is. Also, I think that Dolores will be happy to kind of tiff with Melissa because then she can mosey a little bit closer to Teresa and show a little bit more loyalty and support to Teresa because she's not rolling with Melissa or Melissa's group, which would be Margaret and Jen Fessler. Yeah, I could see Melissa doing that because, again, they know that neither one of them are going to take it too far because they both could bury the other. Because don't forget, guys, we know that Margaret has dirt on Dolores. We know that Margaret's pulled she showed her face. She played all of her chips. She played everything when she dropped the bomb about Jen Aiden. When she did that, she lost her ammunition against Jen Aiden because now she's like, F you, lady. Like, now you ain't got shit on me. Now what? Now I'm going to tell you what I really think about you. And then, I don't know. I just think she overplayed. She came out too hard and she ate all this shit. And now she's got, what does she have left? Like, what do you have left when you do something like that? That's like when they dox me. I'm like, okay, now you dox me. Now you put my address out there. Now you done Now, like, you got nothing to hide. Like, let's roll. Let's rally. So I don't know. It's kind of confusing, but at the same time, I think that Margaret may have messed up by overplaying. Now, the only person left that she really has dirt on would be Dolores and Melissa and Joe, which everyone knows Melissa and Joe's dirt. Everyone knows it, guys. There's some things we don't talk about on here because of the fact that the allegations are so strong. But I don't know. There seems to be a trail of people that are left behind the Gorgas that are hurt or that were taken advantage of or that were lied to or that, they got screwed on money, on a contract, on a building, on on a purse, on a shirt. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't feel like they are the type of people that really give many F's about anyone else. When we see their friends or like their friends of or their old friends, like when Melissa would bring her real friends on, like we never heard like, oh, Melissa was a great friend to me. We've never really heard that. Melissa was a great daughter-in-law. Melissa was a great sister-in-law. Melissa was a great friend, a great daughter. We don't really hear much about a great wife, right? We hear Joe, of course, praising her. But my point being that, I don't know. It's just crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. I have a feeling that the Gorgas are going to pull on Teresa's heartstrings because I don't think she's going to really have much for them in the beginning when filming first starts. I feel like she'll probably just ignore them, which who wouldn't? Like, who would, if you had to film with them, what now, right? But at the same time, it's like, do they need an alliance? Because is Bravo going to just everyone next season and start fresh? There are people that are like, I think they need a cast or yada yada yada. But the thing is, Teresa makes so much money for Bravo, and this is where it is like a good thing sometimes in your contract to have Bravo taking a percentage of what you make, because if you are a desired person like Teresa is, She's getting featured in NFL commercials. Like, that's big time. She did Dancing with the Stars. Again, big time. These are big time deals. They're getting big time payouts when she does these things. So I think that she is such a big name, and she's made them so much money with cookbooks. And I think they will continue to keep her on the show, regardless if they would cut everyone else and start fresh. I don't see them cutting Teresa. I don't ever see that. But I think that if Melissa and Joe think that they're going, they're not going alone. They're going to take everyone down with them that they can, in my opinion. So, okay, Groovy, last comments. Groovy, I think Melissa listens to our lives and posts. And buddies with Mark to make sure the opposite happens on New Jersey just to stick us and win. That is so funny. Sheree says, and Teresa still works. Teresa works so hard. You know, we do know she's a super hard worker. She has a great work ethic. We always hear about her going in, getting the job done, being professional. We hear about her being very kind and professional to production, to everyone she pretty much comes in line with. And I think that that is true, because we don't really hear, we hear about people that think that they're J-Lo and act better than other people, and they see someone in public, like the hairdresser to the stars, and they don't recognize them, they're rude to them. We just don't hear these friendly things about Melissa, but they say allegedly production loves the way that she comes off, because she comes off softer and more America's sweetheart than Teresa did. So that's partly why Bravo ran the narrative of Teresa bad guy, Melissa good guy, to keep the fight going, to keep the drama going, to keep the ratings up. But in order to do that, they had to air Melissa in a certain America's sweetheart sort of light. And that's why a lot of things that were going down over the years just simply never made it to light. So, all right, guys, well, we're going to wrap this live up. I hope that you guys have a great day. I'm going to answer one more. Michelle says, how do you feel about Gina bashing Teresa? I did a short. I did a TikTok. You guys can check it out. I thought it was funny, but I did a green screen with the video of Gina behind me, and I'm like listening to it. And then I put on like my Namaste t-shirt, because of course, I bought a Namaste t-shirt to support Teresa's podcast. And I like put it on, and I like brushed my shoulder off. And yeah, so I thought that was cute that I did that. But I think that it's bullshit that Gina did that. I think she was just simply taking a note out of Tamara's book and bringing up Teresa's name for clout, attention. She's been getting into it with Shannon. And I think that she doesn't have a whole lot going on. I think she could be getting scared that Kelly Dodd is getting a lot of attention. She's doing her show with Rick. She was talked about on Watch. She gets talked about a lot on Watch What Happens Live and different outlets. And I feel like if her and Andy Cohen could make up, they would bring Kelly back on. I just think Gina is like a warm body. Like, Gina is just goes with the flow. Production's like, listen, we don't have anyone to fill her shoes, right? Like, let's just keep her. We know she knows the deal, she's easy to work with. She's not costing us a lot of money. Her salary's not super big. Like, it's a warm body. It's somebody to fill confessional time. It's somebody, just to be, that's why I feel like Orange County, it's like done so lazy. And there's people that have said like production is lazy in some of these franchises, and it shows. Right? So the OC feels like one of those franchises where we got some laziness going on. I've heard that about New Jersey as well. So I don't know, just my opinion. Make sure you guys stay tuned for more from me and my channel. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, turn your notifications on. I came on Wednesday live and let you guys know that I got confirmation that filming had officially started. So my subscribers were some of the first to know on Wednesday. So if you love reality, Real Housewives gossip, and you want to be first to know information, then you should definitely subscribe and turn your notification on. Also, guys, want to let you know that if you are interested, you guys know I'm an advocate for reform, reintegration, sobriety. I deal with dual diagnosis, addiction, mental health. If you have any interest in prison or prison reform, check out my website, www.lenzico.com. But I also have added a blog. So if you guys want to start reading some of my blogs, you can check them out there. And I think that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you have a great day. Also, NYC Gal Out. I am on her podcast every Wednesday talking Real Housewives of New York. And she's on all major podcast platforms. Bye, guys.